OK, so what is Greg's choice?
People who give their dogs specific instructions.
That old chestnut.
I just think a dog is of limited intelligence. It's well established, and there's an argument about whether they're sentient beings or not, whether they have any awareness of self. I can't be bothered to get into that argument, but they're dogs, OK? There are people in my local park who are having full conversations with their dogs. They're going, oh, Coco, don't mess around in that bush. And I think Coco doesn't know he's in a bush. Coco has no concept of what a bush is. Coco is just trying to smell other dogs' wee and try and find something to eat or have sex with. There's a woman in my park who walks about 5 dogs and she's going, oh, Lulu, don't play with Coco's stick, that's his stick. Well, Coco has some concept of ownership. And it wasn't his stick anyway. I saw it, he picked it up in the park. And the same can be applied, while I'm on the subject, to toddlers. I don't... I've heard mothers in West London talking to 2-year-olds going, no, don't play with that bowl because you're going to spill food on the floor and someone's going to have to come and clean that up. And the toddler's going, because all they've got a concept of is there's something they can ram in their mouth. They have no concept of the expert. I'm genuinely furious.
Well, what sort of people make Henning Wehn angry?
Oh, dear God. Nah, come on, they're my lot. I can make fun about them. I suggest we abolish the monarchy because I feel so sorry for all the members of the royal family. Why?
No, well, because, you know, life is about bettering yourself. Well, when you're born into the royal family, how are they going to better themselves? And here's everything. OK, then. So now we mentioned William and Harry born into a regular family. I mean, you could easily see Harry getting a job at a garage and William... I mean, who is to say William couldn't make it up into middle management in a recruitment company? Let's abolish the monarchy and give them an opportunity of upward social mobility.
As we all know, they are essentially German, the British monarchy.
Well, not all Germans are good people.
Even the Duke of Edinburgh, his family name is Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glucksburg. Everybody's talking about pop music.
So have you met them? Any of them?
You would think they invite me round for tea, but no, I've never met them.
Because
Have you, Michael?
Well, once or twice.
OK, so, to Frankie.
Celebrity atheist. I am an atheist, but I don't like celebrity atheists. I was a very bad Catholic, unless you include my attitude to condoms, in which case I was an amazing Catholic. But I don't like the judgmental nature of celebrity atheists. I think some religions have done good things. The Quakers fought against the Vietnam War. Liberation theology in Central America, those people all got killed standing up for poor people. And what's the reward? To be looked down on by Ricky Gervais. I don't need Ricky Gervais to tell me that God doesn't exist when I watched Derek get recommissioned twice. I just sort of think, you know, we all need something to get through. You know, and why stand in judgment on what other people need? So Ricky Gervais or Richard Dawkins, whoever, they need retweets or whatever they need. and other people need different things. I just feel the whole thing's a bit religious. You know, so it's the idea of certainty to me is very religious. The idea of judgment is very religious, and it's blaming God. It's blaming religion. You know, they go, oh, religion causes violence. Okay, some violence is caused by religion. Some violence is caused by lager. Some violence is caused by people cheating at pool. But at the moment when you go, I'm blaming that on God, that's like you don't get any mayonnaise in your chicken zinger and you blame it on Colonel Sanders.
I can sense Nicola here thinking, what's wrong with violence? Or let's see what's upsetting Robert.
These are couples who communicate with each other over social media. I mean, what is wrong with them? First up, thank you. First up, I couldn't care less about your private relationship whatsoever, at all. Secondly, people make the most disgusting announcements and put them on Facebook and think that that's perfectly reasonable. I'd like to celebrate my husband Nigel is having an operation this week, and we do hope that the repair to his prolapse is successful. I don't care. I couldn't care less. And, you know, why don't you speak to your husband or partner at home? You know, in the secrecy
Now
of
you've
your...
gone too far.
Yeah.
No one does that. Not after a couple of years.
It's the death of, you know, relationships and normal communication, not to mention incredibly boring.
I'm missing out on all this. I'm presuming you mean this would be a typical example. I really do have a tremendous husband, and that's from Lucy Porter.
Did you really do that?
Do you know?
That's so terribly embarrassing.
You know?
What is winding up Diane?
Magicians. I think they're quite needy people, generally. Whenever I watch them, I'm never entertained.
That's quite a negative review.
Isn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't. There was one. I went to a restaurant, and there was one that was going between the tables, between courses, and showing you a card trick. And then he'd finish the card trick, and he'd wait, and you can't just go. You've got to go. Oh, that was good. How did you do that? So you feel like they're getting more out of this than you are. I think it starts with parents giving kids magic sets. Because if you give a kid a magic set, that's like a starter kit for a psychopath, isn't it?
I never had a magic kit, I must admit. Is it a common gift for children?
For psychopaths, yeah.
OK.
It's so boring. It's like cups and balls. Who cares? Pulling flags out your sleeve. I just can't find any enthusiasm for it.
So what's winding up Adil?
Mine is beards, yes, and more importantly, actually, specifically, hipster beards. This sort of... yes, exactly.
So you're talking about these trendy young men you see with the big beards?
Yeah, but how can it be trendy, Frank? I mean, if everyone's doing it, you go to parts of London, it's almost a requirement to go to East London that you have to have a beard. And I'm not talking about East London where all the Muslims are. I'm talking about, Shoreditch, you know.
But I think there is also a requirement there to have a beard.
There is a requirement there. But I just don't see... if it's supposed to be trendy, how can it be trendy if everyone is doing it? I just don't get it whatsoever. And if it is about Muslims, obviously we've been cool for a number of years. That's why we're front page all the time, I guess. You know?
Right. Yeah. In case there's anyone watching this and thinking, what on earth is he talking about? Do young men have beards? Yeah, they do. It's become incredibly fashionable. Here's an example of the hipster beards. There you go. The guy on the right, I think, has got Beyonce hiding under his...
Is it just laziness? Is that what it is, really? Is it lazy?
I think it's partly because the kind of guys who do it, they're very modern young men. And so most of the signs of masculinity, they're not allowed to show anymore. You know, if you look at a woman in a short skirt, just a slight glance, you're a sicko. If you, sorry, you know, if you hospitalise somebody on a pub car park, you're seen as brutish. Dog fighting's almost obsolete now.